Hey guys, so today is like sort of like a special day, cause like it's not like too special, but let's just say it's special, cause today it's October 12th, 2019, and it's already been a year. It's already been a year of a game that barely anyone mentions or talks about today, and that game is Luigi's Mansion on the Nintendo 3DS. So the game was released on October 12th, 2018, and it's already a year anniversary since this game was out. And I just noticed that since today's the first anniversary of the game, I just wanted to talk about it for a little bit and to ask a question and see how good how good it holds up today after a year of it being released. So yeah, Luigi's Mansion. I'd say this game is really awesome. I mean, a lot of people say it would have looked even better on the Switch, and that I actually agree with, but the reason why I think it was on the Nintendo 3DS was that they already made like an engine for the game. And that engine was when they made Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which I have right here. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. So they had like an engine for this game. Hang on. Okay, sorry, a little error there. So anyway, the reason why I think Nintendo made this game Luigi's Mansion, they remade it for the 3DS. I think they did that because when they made Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for the Nintendo 3DS, they already had an engine. They had a special engine or next level games to help make them. So I think because if they were to put Luigi's Mansion on the Switch, then they would have to make a totally new engine. And that would take up a lot of time and money, so I guess they just used the engine that they already had for when they made Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Sorry, I don't have the whatchamacallit, the cartridge. This is the cartridge. Let's just call it the case. So yeah, I don't have the case for Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I just have the game. Put that down. Alright, so I just want to ask how this game really feels up to date, because it's already a year anniversary of the game being released. And I just want to see if there's I really think this game's awesome. I totally agree that it would have looked so much better on the Switch, but I actually think it looks okay, being able to play on the Nintendo 3DS. I have my 3DS right here. And so yeah, I think it's the controlling, the controls in the game are really well, playing it with this format with the circle pad and the buttons and stuff and everything here and stuff. So I just think that's really good and just feels really well. But something I've noticed lately is that this game is already a year old, and past those months of it being released, no one really talked about it. No one mentioned it. No one really said anything about it. People barely talk about it nowadays. Now, I think that's the reason is because, the Nintendo 3DS, it's dead now. Nintendo doesn't make any more games for it. The latest game that Nintendo made for the 3DS was, Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, which was I think the last 3DS game, because that game was, released back in March. And that was, the last 3DS game ever made. So, yeah, I no one really talks about the 3DS. No one really mentions about this game. No one talks about it lately. So I just think that's kind of sad. I think people don't talk about this game a lot. Is that it's it was a game that was already out on the GameCube, and it coming back to the 3DS. It's just it's kind of different. But yeah, this game it was already out on the GameCube, and I never played the GameCube game, which I don't like. I wish I could try playing the GameCube game because I want to see how it feels, how it holds up to this game. And hey, we even have Luigi's Mansion 3 coming out on October 31st, real soon. So yeah, I mean this game, I think it's like really good. I think it's like really well. I do agree, and I'm just repeating myself. I do agree that this game would have been way better on the Switch. Well, I don't have my Switch now, but so yeah. Anyway, I think this game is just like it's really good. There's no like complaints I can make about it because it's just well, it's a remake of Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS. So I mean, I never got to play the original game. I would like to play it and see how well it feels up to date. Like playing it with the like GameCube controller. Like I didn't really like get into the GameCube. Like I do think it's a really awesome console, but I never got to like actually play a GameCube like in like actuality because it's a really outdated Nintendo console. And now we have the Switch, the 3DS and stuff. So yeah, I just have those. Like I have a Nintendo Wii, a Wii U, like a DS and stuff. I just have those, so I don't have like the old consoles, like the GameCube, the N64. I mean, I do have the NES and the SNES classics, but I really don't know if those actually count. But we're kind of getting off topic, so yeah. This game, no one actually really mentions it today. No one talks about it. I mean, it's just, I mean, I just think, sometimes I just get like, no one actually really cares for this game. I mean, I know there are like tons of people out there that bought this game. I bought it because I wanted to see how it would feel, to see how good it would be to play Luigi's Mansion. Because I did play Dark Moon. And like a lot of people like really hate Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I personally disagree. I think Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is actually a good game. The reason why people don't like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is that it's really like there's nothing from the original game that actually really makes it like a sequel. Like say you just make a video game and that video game just has a certain amount of stuff. And then you make a sequel to that game years later, and it could have the same stuff, or it could have different stuff, or it could not like be like the original game. So that's what's kind of like happening here. Because Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, a lot of people hated it because it was like it looked like too cartoony. It didn't really feel like scary. It didn't feel like spooky. It just felt like a TV show, like a cartoon. Like I don't think that's true. I mean. Well, lately like, in 2001, when the original Luigi's Mansion was a thing, and the GameCube was a thing, it was actually scary, and you should have seen the beta version of Luigi's Mansion. It was way scarier than the final game. I do think that the game is kind of scary. It, like, the original Luigi's Mansion, like, it's supposed to be scary. It's like a spooky video game. So, like, you know, and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, they just like turned the wheel a bit, and they just made it more like a kids TV show, like a game for little kids to enjoy. And I do think that's kind of fair because they couldn't I really don't think Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is that really bad of a game because I think it's actually a really good game. I mean, there were actually some things that I didn't like about Dark Moon, and that was, like, how long the game was. Like, the game, it's way longer than the original Luigi's Mansion. It took me about, 2 days to beat this game. And it took me about, nearly 2 weeks to beat Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon because there were, some of these moments where the game was, really hard. It took me a long time to beat because the game was so hard. But it was still a really fun game to play. I did like the little puzzles that they did in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I liked all of there were moments where Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is actually a really good game. And another thing I didn't like was that it was mission based. Like there were these missions that you had to go through in the game, and I didn't really like that. A thing that made the original game so good was that you can just explore everywhere in the mansion. There was no backtracking. You didn't have to do anything. You could just explore everything, and you weren't kicked out of the level. Like in games like Super Mario 3D World and Super Mario Land, those are 3D Mario games where you're timed and you couldn't explore all around. But when Nintendo made Super Mario Odyssey, that was a full, beautiful sandbox Mario game where they just let you explore everything. They just you weren't timed at all. So that's what Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was basically like. It was just you were timed. you had to be kicked out of the level at certain points. You couldn't like backtrack like in the original game. You couldn't do any of that. So, and I also don't like the idea of there being multiple mansions. I think it's just better like where less is actually more. Because there are actually 5 mansions in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon that you had to like go through with all these missions and stuff. So just like doing like random missions for 5 random mansions is nothing that the original game of Luigi's Mansion actually had. But I still think Dark Moon is actually a good game because there were the gameplay is fun, all about it is fun, just. Yeah, and even the ghosts. I know, like, the ghosts, they didn't really try to scare you that much, but there were some points where the game actually tried to be scary. And it did, like, I really think Dark Moon was a good game. But I can honestly say that this game is actually a teensy bit better than Dark Moon because it's actually more fun. It's like really fun. You can explore everything. You weren't like kicked out of the level. I mean, you were kicked out of the mansion like a few times, but that was only like a few times. In Dark Moon, you were like kicked out of the level everywhere. So yeah, I really think this game is good, and I really think people's like. I would love to play the original Luigi's Mansion and see how well it would stand up today, because I would really love to play it. So this is as close as I can get to right now. I mean, I could try to get a copy of the original Luigi's Mansion sometime, maybe on eBay or GameStop or something. But yeah, I'll just wait to the future. So yeah, I really do think this is a good game, and I'm actually glad it's already a year old. I mean, the game was already out. It's already like 20 years old now. So yeah. I do think the game's really awesome, so yeah. And I'm definitely excited for Luigi's Mansion 3. I am really excited for it because it's coming out in like a few weeks on the Switch, and I already pre-ordered the game, so I can't wait to get it. I'm really excited for it. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Luigi's Mansion series, and I do think it's like a really awesome series. So yeah, that's what I think about this game. I think it's really awesome, and I'm glad it's a year old. And just, it's sad because people don't really talk about it. Like, it's a game that people don't really talk about that much. It's not really like, that kind of game like Mario Odyssey. Because Mario Odyssey is a really awesome game. Everywhere I go, like, if you want to, like, get a Nintendo Switch, the first game you want to get is Mario Odyssey. Because it's a really awesome game. And Luigi's Mansion 3 when it comes out soon. Alright, so yeah, that's all I want to say. So yeah, this game is really awesome, and if you don't have it now, I really consider buying it, or if you just want to wait for Luigi's Mansion 3, you can go ahead and